If you have ever felt like small changes don't really matter, let me tell you something from Atomic Habit that blew my mind. If you get 1% better every single day, by the end of the year, you are not just little better, you are 37 times better. Now flip it. If you get 1% worse every day, you don't notice it at first, but slowly things pile up until you have lost almost everything. And that's what Atomic Habit by James Clear is all about. It's not a book about making huge overnight changes. It's about focusing on tiny, consistent action that compound into big results. Habits are like seeds. You plant them and at first nothing seems to happen. But with water, sunlight and time, they grow into a tree. And over years, they become forest. The habit you build today shape the life you will live tomorrow. Now this book is full of insights and 3 big ideas really stand out. First, focus on identity instead of just chasing goals. Second, use the 4 laws of behavior change. James Clear's super practical system for creating good habits and breaking bad ones. And third, understand the plateau of latent potential. Why results often take time to show up, even when you are doing the right things. Don't worry, I'll make each one really easy to understand. So let's jump in. Key idea number 1. Focus on identity, not just goals. Most people set goals like I want to lose 10 kilos, or I want to save $5,000, or I want to read 30 books this year. Nothing is wrong with goals, but James Clear flipped the script. Instead of asking, what do I want to achieve? Ask, who do I want to become? Do I want to become a kind of person who never misses workout? Do I want to become a kind of person who is financially disciplined? Do I want to become a kind of person who always keeps learning? When you focus on identity, habits stick because every action you take is the step towards the person you want to become. Every time you read a page, you are proving to yourself that you are a reader. Every time you save $1, you are proving that you are financially wise. Every time you exercise, you are proving that you are healthy. This shift from outcome to identity makes habit for more powerful. Key idea number 2. The 4 laws of behavior change. The most practical part of this book of James Clear's is simple system for creating good habits and breaking bad ones. He calls it the 4 laws of behavior change. Law number 1, make it obvious. Every habit begins with a cue. A cue is a simple trigger, something in your environment that tells your brain, hey, it's time to do this. For example, you see your phone light up. You check your notification. The cue that triggers the habit of checking notification. You smell fresh coffee. You pour yourself a cup. The cue that triggers the habit of pouring a cup. And you see your running shoes by the door. You go for a jog. The cue that triggers the habit of going for a jog. Most of the time, these cues are so small, we don't even notice them. Habits run on autopilot, and that's why awareness is the first step. James Clear suggests using a tool called a habit scorecard. Write down everything you do in a day, from waking up, brushing your teeth, checking your phone, eating breakfast, scrolling social media. Once you see your habit on paper, you will notice patterns you never paid attention to before. And when you notice them, you can start to design them. If you want to build a good habit, make the cue obvious. Want to drink more water? Keep a bottle on your desk, right in front of you. Want to eat healthier? Place fruits in a bowl where you can see it instead of hiding it in the fridge. Want to read more? Put a book on your pillow in the morning so it's the first thing you see at night. On the other hand, if you want to break a bad habit, make the cue invisible. Want to cut down on junk food? Don't buy it in the first place. No snakes in the house means no temptation. Want to spend less time on social media? Move the apps off your home screen and delete them completely. Want to watch less TV? Unplug it after dinner so there is an extra step before you can turn it on. The big idea here is this: don't rely on willpower. If the cue is starting at you all day, willpower eventually breaks. But if you remove the cue or replace it with a better one, you make success automatically. James Clear puts it simply: you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall into level of your environment. So design your environment, surround yourself with cues that pull you towards good habits and remove the cues that trigger bad ones. That's the first law, make it obvious. Law number 2, make it attractive. Here is the truth. We are far more likely to repeat habits that feel appealing. If something looks boring, painful, or difficult, our brain will avoid it. But it looks fun or rewarding, we will do it again and again. This is why James Clear says to build good habits, you need to make them attractive. How do you do that? One great strategy is called temptation bundling. It means pairing something you need to do with something you want to do. For example, only watch Netflix while exercising on the treadmill. Only listen to your favorite podcast while going for a walk. Only enjoy your favorite coffee after finishing your morning writing. When you connect a habit with pleasure, it becomes easier to stick to it. Now let's flip it. If you want to break a bad habit, make it unattractive. Remind yourself of the real cost. For example, instead of craving a cigarette, visualize how it damages your lungs and your health. Instead of looking at overspending as fun, think about the stress of your credit card debt. Another powerful trick is join a culture where your desired behavior is a norm. If you want to work out more, join a gym where fitness is valued. If you want to read more, join a book club. If you want to grow in your career, surround yourself with ambitious people. Why? Because human beings are wired to fit in. When a habit feels socially attractive, it sticks. So law number 2 is simple. If you want a habit to grow, make it appealing, make it enjoyable, and connect with the things you already love. And if you want to break a habit, flip the script, make it unattractive, and your brain won't chase it. Law number 3, make it easy. Habits stick when they are simple to start. The more steps or effort required, the less likely you will follow through. That's why James Clear says, make good habits effortless and bad habits inconvenient. For example, if you want to read more, put a book on your pillow in the morning. At night, it's right there waiting for you. If you want to exercise, prepare your workout clothing the night before. No thinking, no excuses. And to break bad habits, flip the rule. Make them harder to do. Want to cut back on TV? Unplug it after dinner. That little bit extra effort make you think twice. The idea is simple. We follow the path of least resistance. So reduce friction for good habits and add friction to bad ones. When you make habits easy, they become natural. And once they are natural, they become automatic. Law number 4, make it satisfying. Human beings are wired to repeat what feels good and avoid what feels bad. That means if you want a habit to stick, it has to feel rewarding in the moment. If you eat junk food, the taste gives you instant pleasure, even though the long-term effect is bad. If you skip a workout, you get a short-term reward of comfort, even though the long-term result is weakness. Good habits often suffer because their rewards are delayed. Exercising, saving money, or studying feels hard now but pays off months or years later. Bad habits, on the other hand, feel satisfying immediately, even though they harm you in the long run. So what is the solution? You have to bring the reward closer. You need to make good habits satisfying right away. Here are some simple ways. Use a habit tracker. Cross off the days you complete your habit. That visual progress feels good and motivates you to continue. Celebrate small wins. Finish your workout. High-five yourself. Drink enough water. Acknowledge it. These little celebrations keep you going. Reward yourself wisely. After sticking to your writing habit for a week, maybe allow yourself a treat. Something that reinforces, not cancels out your progress. And if you want to break a bad habit, do the opposite. Make it unsatisfying. Use accountability. Tell a friend about your goal. If you miss it, you will feel the discomfort of admitting it. Add consequences. For example, if you smoke again, you donate money to the cause you don't support. That pain makes the habit less appealing. The principle is simple. What gets rewarded gets repeated. What gets punished gets avoided. So design your habits so that they feel good in the short term, not just in a long run. Key idea number 3. The Plateau of latent potential. This is one of my favorite lessons from the book. James Clear says that changes is often invisible in the beginning. Imagine an ice cube in the cold room. At 25 degrees, nothing. At 30 degrees, still nothing. At 31, nothing. Then at 32 degrees, the ice melt. That's how habits work. You may not see results for weeks or even months, but all the progress is being stored. One day, it suddenly shows. This explains why people give up too early. They don't see results fast enough. But the truth is, the results are coming. Atomic Habits is not a complicated book. It's a simple, clear, and actionable. What makes it powerful is how James Clear mixes psychology with the strategies anyone can use. It's not about motivation, it's about systems. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your system. So, if you have a struggle with consistency, if you feel stuck in bad habits, or if you want to create lasting change, this book is absolutely worth reading. Thank you so much for watching this review. If you found it helpful, hit like, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more book breakdowns and career insights. And tell me in the comments what one habit you want to build after hearing this review.